Hey, it's Pat. This is Bet on a Vet, and it is our pleasure to have Cherish Cook with us. You are possibly the busiest person I've ever heard of.
Yes, I am extremely busy. It's especially in the area that I serve, both Yuba and Sutter counties. I would say I am pretty busy.
Okay, let's get a little background on you. You were born in Louisiana, correct?
Yes, sir. Born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay, and then how long were you there?
So from birth, essentially, until about 14, 15 years old, I moved to Elk Grove, California to attend high school. And then from high school, I joined the United States Air Force, and that took me all over, and it landed me back in California, Beale to be exactly. And then I got out of the active duty side and I went reserves. So I am here to stay permanently.
You have just summed up about 15 years inside of 20 seconds. Let's go back to Baton Rouge. You leave when you're 14 or 15 and go to Elk Grove, and I love Elk Grove, but being uprooted at your freshman year, I'm going to guess it was your freshman year in high school, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, it was definitely a cultural adjustment, being from the South and coming here where it's more diverse, I would say, and different types of cultures and religions, and something that I wasn't really used to. So it definitely took me a while to adjust being away from home, but I'm a resilient person. So it didn't take me long to kind of get into the groove of, okay, this is these types of crowds and this is this types of crowds. So it was very eye-opening, but I learned a lot, and I'm glad I went to the Air Force too, because I was used to being around the melting pot per se. You have a bunch of different things from different areas in one area. So the seamless transition to the Air Force was perfect.
Okay. So in Elk Grove, what high school?
Franklin High School.
You're a Wildcat.
I was a Wildcat. I played soccer.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay. And what propelled you from high school right into the Air Force?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. I had to find something to do with my life, and I had to find it quickly. So I knew that I wanted structure and routine and discipline. And out of all of the other branches that I talked to, the Air Force seemed like the best bet. And they call us the Chair Force because we have this stigma of like, oh, we just sit down, we don't really do anything. But the Air Force, we do a lot and we see a lot. We're not just stuck behind a desk.
Okay. When I think Air Force, I think jets and people flying all over the place.
Aircraft everywhere. And then career fields like myself, I'm administrations, which is 3F5X1. We are the powerhouse essentially for HR related things like personnel and records management and official correspondence and handling travel and evaluations like career evaluation. So it's a lot of paperwork, but our members are able to do what they're able to do because of us. So I have a very important job in the military, making sure that our members can go overseas and making sure that their family's okay and their Red Cross is together and they have a family care plan and, their spouses are connected with a key spouse and, all this, that, and the other that goes on into making sure that they have the green light to go and do those missions overseas.
That is a lot to keep straight. Did it take you a while to learn that?
No, not really. It took me a couple years to master my career field, yes, but I'm a quick learner. I'm very resilient, so I see it a couple times. Like, okay, yes, I know what this is. I know how to do it, and it's the repetition and the constantly seeing. Okay, this is what this document is. This is what this document is, and it's the same for 300, 400, 500 members. So you get the hang of it pretty quickly.
Okay, so there you are behind the scenes in the Air Force, and I don't mean to be, I don't mean behind the scenes, but very important job,
Yes.
handling all this legal stuff, all this paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
When did it dawn on you, hey, maybe I need to go to law school?
So so my initial, like my first degree path, I was going to be a social worker, and I didn't have the time to do that because being active duty, you have to have, I think it's like 400-ish hours of like practicum hours to be a social worker. And I just couldn't do that while working a full-time job, right, with the military. So I switched from social work to, I think it was like health and human services or health and like information management, something like that. Because my father-in-law convinced me. He's like, "Oh, like maybe you can like be a nurse like me, and come work at UC Davis." I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe that sounds like a good idea." And then we started getting into blood and this and that. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I don't think that's for me."
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody. And so I switched again over to management. And so I'm like, okay, I think I can do management. I do it now in the Air Force, right? I can do that. So I did about 2 years of the undergrad program in that. And then my school came out with a law program for undergrad students. So I'm like, sure, let me see what that's about. And I've always been intrigued by just law in general. So a part of the Air Force, my job with those evaluations, it's, reading all of the disciplinary actions for those service members that got in trouble. And I had an opportunity to actually sit in a couple of court martials and see actual members prosecuted because of their wrongdoing. So I was just like, okay, maybe this is something that I could do in the future. And so once I secured my law program, I never left. Like it was just like once you find something that, scratches your itch, you just kind of like go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you get intertwined into all these different things. So, but once I got out of the active duty side, I went reserve. So I held a couple of different employments in the area. So like I worked for the local county courthouse as a clerk. And then meantime doing that, I also became a CASA, which is a court appointed special advocate for children. So I was in and out of court representing children who were taken away from their parents for various reasons, whether it's drugs, alcohol, abuse. And that's where I found my groove. And I'm like, okay, this is where I am meant to be. This is where I'm destined to be. So I kind of took that and I, did some certificate programs, and I got my paralegal and legal certificate, and I got all these other various, courseworks essentially to further validate my credentials and doing what I'm doing now. And I have not looked back since.
And so what are you doing now? What is your business?
So we are Valor Legal and Family Court Services. My job is to help the pro se litigants. So those individuals who cannot afford an attorney, they want to represent themselves. I help get their case before the judge. So all the paperwork, right? Legal document assistance, unlawful detainer assistance. So we have the landlords who, they want to get tenants out of their home, but they have to do it the legal way to make sure that they can get them removed from the home, right? So it's the paperwork that goes behind that, and the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day notices, all of those things. We do process serving, we do court running, we do co-parenting classes, we do mediations, we do veteran employment services. So taking their, 15, 20, 25, sometimes over 30 years of experience in the military. And we're creating resumes for them. We're helping prep them for interviews. We're giving them a cover letter. We're giving them what they need to succeed, because they've been doing something for so many years. They don't know how to function on the outside, right? Like they've had someone to tell them when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when to sleep, when to do. They always had somewhere to be at certain times, and they were always told to do something. So, I say that to say they're not going to have that experience, that civilian experience, to kind of do an interview or create a resume, right? A military resume is completely different than a civilian resume or, a federal resume or a state resume. So we're taking all those complex legal and, military terms, and we're translating it into something that a civilian can read, easily, and that's easy on the eye. And we're helping get them to the next steps in life. On top of that, we also offer therapy. We're partnered with an LCSW who does all of our therapy. So that's domestic violence. We have individual sessions, couple sessions, children, substance abuse. We have all those things under one roof. So I like to call myself a one-stop shop, right? Because there's so many different resources in the area, but they're either, veteran friendly or military friendly, but not so much, because they don't understand, the legal or the lingo that we're used to. They don't understand, the AFIs, which are Air Force instructions. They don't understand the things that we've had to live by verbatim to help us in our, let's say, custody case or our divorce case or something like that. And it's essentially bridging the gap between the resources available and just having everything under one roof, right? So if a parent is court ordered to take, you know, a co-parenting class, but also they need reunification therapy with their child, right? So it's all here housed under one roof. And I wanted to make sure that our community has something that they can lean on instead of running various places throughout the town, you know, and they're 15, 20, 30, sometimes hours apart, depending on where that person lives. And the nearest quality service could be Sacramento, or it could be Roseville, or it could be Chico, you know, various different places. So my goal is to continue to provide services that are quality, but also it's directly across the street from the courthouse, you know.
So you are family friendly, you are legal friendly, and you are location friendly.
Absolutely. Literally walking distance from Sutter County Court. I can see it out of my front window.
Okay. Where are you located?
I am on 1110 Civic Center Boulevard. So I am connected, or essentially connected to like the fire department, like their admin office is catty corner, like right across the street. So I'm right here at the corner near the courthouse.
Okay. And how do you land in Yuba City? How did that happen?
So Beale essentially is when I got out of active duty, I went reserves, and so my reserves unit is, you know, still at Beale. So once I got out, I bought a house with my husband. He's a local Yuba City native, so my in-laws are here. You know, his family's here, so it made sense for me to plant my roots here and not go anywhere else, because I had help here, you know, with my daughters and the support I needed away from home, essentially. And with the base being right there, I'm just like, this is the new home. This is where I've been for years, and this is where I want to plant my roots deeper into the community and serve the community that, you know, that I have always served, essentially being a part of the Air Force.
Okay. All right. Do you think, well, I know what the answer to this is because you're smarter than I am. But being a reservist and having the military experience, does that give you a leg up on a lot of veteran stuff?
Absolutely. Veteran things and active duty things, right? So I'm still a part of the military per se. I'm still a part of the Air Force. My one leg is in the Air Force and one leg is in the, you know, civilian sector, right? So I'm reading up on like what's changing, or I'm required to know because I'm also a supervisor, you know, so I have troops under me and I have to know what's changing. I have to know what the new rules and regulations are. So a lot of our, let's say civilian sector, they may not be aware of what's constantly changing in the Air Force because they're not a part of it, right? They have either, you know, retired, or, you know, they're veterans. Their family or their dad or their brother was in the military, and they're like, oh yeah, we're military friendly. Like, yeah, everyone can be military friendly, but are you really going to be military friendly if you haven't lived it, if you haven't walked it, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't heard it, if you haven't talked it, right? So me still being a part of the military, I have access to, you know, these, you know, Air Force instructions, which is called AFIs. You know, we have new documents coming out. We have new guidance coming out, you know, stuff coming down from Congress that changes the way we talk, walk, breathe military wise. Someone on the outside may not be aware of those constantly changing guidances. So they may not be able to assist the best because they're unaware of those changing things. So that's how I like to kind of, you know, set apart from the others. I'm still in the military per se, so I know how to help our military active duty members, especially because I'm still there, you know.
Well, Cherish, I sat here intently, listening intently to all these services that you provide, all these things you do, and I probably can retain about 5% of it. But so what's your website?
Our website is ValorCourtServices.com. On that website, we also have an inquiry form. So if you go to our website, you're curious about something like that, you can go to submit a form, put in your name, your phone number, your email address, and a quick message like what you're interested in. I had one gentleman not too long ago. He's like, I think I don't know what I need, but I have a stepdaughter and I want to adopt her. She's an adult now. Can you help me? And so I was like, yeah, you know, respond to his email, go into depth about, you know, our services and give the phone number and set up an appointment. It's easier that way to just, you know, go in and say, hey, this is what I think I need. Can you help me? But our website is the quickest way to reach us, definitely.
Okay. And again, that's ValorCourtServices.com.
Yes,
Valor,
sir.
very important to you, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Valor is, I was, it was crazy because I was rocking my daughter to sleep. She's 15 months now, but a couple of months ago, shortly after her first birthday, I'm like, man, like I need to do something, right? I need to give back to my community, but also I just need to do something. Like, I don't know. It's like, once you have a kid, like your mind, just your brain changes. I don't know. I had what seemed like a come to Jesus moment. And I'm like, yes, this is the name. This is what I'm going to do. And I went from, all of my ideas on sticky notes and, pieces of paper and stuff all over the house to an actual business plan. So Valor it's more than just, the name itself, but it's resiliency. It's doing what's right, even when no one's looking, right? It's doing what is right and giving the shirt off of your back, even if it means you don't have anything. It's going the extra mile, going the extra steps in those boots to make sure that, our community has what they need, effective and quality legal services.
Okay. So you have a female run, veteran run business, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Minority owned as well.
There you go.
Yes,
You're a
sir.
mom of two?
Of two daughters.
Mom of two. You're a wife, and you're a military member, a current military member. Thank you for making the rest of us look lazy. But that's not everything that's on your resume, is it?
No, it's not. And being a mom, I feel like, that resume is always ongoing. That resume is like 20 pages long, right? You're a nurse, you're a scientist, you're a wound kisser, you're, a therapist, you're Bob the Builder, you're everything when you're a mom. So, that's a whole separate resume right there.
Well, Cherish, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time out of your very, very busy day. And I hope that you are wildly successful with this. I love the fact that you give back to the community, and that's important to you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. I really do appreciate it. You're making a difference, even if you don't even realize it.
Well, all I'm doing is sitting here listening and having you talk. So thank you for filling in all the gaps. And again, Cherish Cook, your website is ValorCourtServices.com. Thank you, and have yourself a great day.
Thank you. You as well, Pat. Take care.
Bye-bye.